All right, welcome back. We've got a Tesla stock market update. It's been a wild year, a wild 6 months for Tesla and Tesla investors. We're going to talk about some of the news. There's not a whole lot of news. The real news is in the price action of the stock. So we'll look at the chart. But I did want to go over some of the 13F filings. We're not going to go name by name, person by person. What we're going to look at here is the total amount of reported filings when it comes to Tesla. And I did notice, flipping through a lot of these investors, there is an increased ownership of Tesla. Some interesting names that bought Tesla this quarter was Citadel. He added to his position, Ken Griffin. And then, how am I blanking on his name right now? Ray Dalio. So he bought a lot of Tesla, a few million shares of Tesla. And we're seeing here the total filings. You can see this last quarter with a pretty large increase for the amount of ownership, which I thought was interesting to see. Be interesting to see next quarter if they're in there buying this dip. So, or maybe they got all out, who knows. So I did want to go over this. The big money is buying. You can see there has been a gradual steady increase from the S&P 500 inclusion, which makes sense. They're mandated to buy some of these funds. So I did think that was an encouraging sign. We are seeing more and more institutional money get involved into Tesla. For so long, it's been just a retail stock, but now it's probably more than 50-50 institutional and retail. So I thought that was a positive sign. Now, what's not so positive is the price action. We are in a 30+% drawdown. Now, it sounds like a lot, but you have to remember we were up 100% in the last few months just from the election. So it's normal to give back some of that price action. So to me, I'm not too concerned here. When we went over the earnings numbers, we talked about how these numbers were not good when it came to the automobile side of the business. They weren't terrible, but they weren't improving at the rate we're used to as growth Tesla investors. Now there's other pieces of the business that are looking good, but with the higher interest rates and all the subsidies that they did when it came to moving vehicles off the lot, that's going to start catching up to them. So we already went over that in the earnings video. Now Q1 and Q2 is historically weak for Tesla and automotive companies in general. People tend to buy cars towards the back half of the year. So we'll see if that's the case as well this year. We do have earnings coming up in about 55 days or so. So another couple of months. We'll see what Q1 looks like. We did see a large drop in Europe sales. So 45% year-over-year drop reported. Now this is being stated as Musk-related backlash. To me, the whole Elon's a polarizing guy. I've seen it from both ends of the spectrum. People love him, people hate him. It's going back and forth these last couple years. This side hates him, this side loves him. Now it's the opposite. So he's a polarizing figure, but long term, I'm not too concerned about that unless he does something. He's done a lot of crazy stuff. Read his biography. To me, this is just another chapter in that biography. So we'll see if that continues. I'm sure it will, but there's a lot of headlines from both, depending on what channel you turn on, a lot of headlines when it comes to Elon and what's going on right now. So I don't think that's going to end anytime soon, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's finish up here with the stock price. Let me pull up a chart. Few really bad days in a row. I think we've got like 6 weeks in a row of red. So has not been that great. It's been great for selling covered calls, but as far as watching your value of your shares go down, it's been brutal. But that's the game we play when we're in these high-flying technology stocks. You're going to go up 100% and then you're going to pull back 30%, and it's going to feel very painful on the way down. So we are about to fill the election gap. We did gap up around 250 on November 5th. Looking like we're headed towards that target. I've been saying for a while now, 275 looks like it wants to get touched, but we're almost there. So now I'm going to move this line to filling these gaps down here. So I feel like we need to fill this gap, and then see what happens from there. We do have full self-driving in China that was just released. I think that's phenomenal news. And then we do have the robo-taxi in Austin that'll be rolled out, I believe, early summertime. So that'll be another catalyst to look at, as well as earnings. How bad or how good are the automotive numbers? And then also, how well is energy doing? Is it still holding up? So this stock drop is, it's a Tesla story, it's an Elon story, but it's also a macro story. The whole market is looking a little shaky right now, with a lot of uncertainty of inflation, rates, tariffs, yada, yada, yada. And all of those affect Tesla. And especially when Tesla's had such a big move, people are taking profits, taking money off the table, and they'll look to reevaluate once the sky is a little bit more clear. So for me, I'm looking to add some more stock at 265, and then we'll see how things look below there. In the meantime, when we have green days, I'm selling covered calls. I don't expect Tesla to boomerang back up to the upside anytime soon. So with the volatility being high, it's a great time for me to sell calls when we have green days, and when we have really red days like this, sell puts at the price that I'd like to acquire some shares. So that is what I'm currently doing. You see these red lines here. Those are some of the strike prices that I have on right now. But that's what I'm doing. Do what's best for you. Do your own research. And I hope this analysis helps. But if you're a Tesla investor out there, to me, the story hasn't changed. The price of the stock has changed. But that is the name of the game when it comes to these types of stocks. So if you followed this channel, we've been in Tesla since 2020. And it's been a wild ride, up and down and all around. So to me, this volatility is par for the course. And we'll see what happens in the next few months. But I do expect some more weakness. Again, the earnings have not been that great these last handful of quarters, but there's a lot of hype around AI, and we're starting to see that hype sizzle out a little bit. So we will see if some of the hype is realized when it comes to some of the AI events. So that's all I got for you guys. NVIDIA is about to come out in a few seconds, so I'm going to switch over to that. All right, peace out.